The
assignment.
cosmos has chosen this
Professor
moment.
Valoran
Resistance
was
is
not
not
a
an option.
patient
Embrace the
He was
change.
9 feet tall, gray-skinned, with 4 arms that moved independently of each other, and eyes the color of deep amber, each one capable of focusing on a different student simultaneously. He had been teaching xenobiology at the Interstellar Academy of Sciences for 312 years, and in that time, not a single student had ever impressed him. He did not expect today to be different. "Your final field assignment," he announced, his voice like gravel rolling down a metal staircase, as he paced the front of the circular classroom. Holographic images materialized in the air above every desk, a creature unlike anything most of the students had encountered. It resembled a large fox, but its fur shifted color like an oil slick on water. Its 3 tails moved with independent intelligence, and its eyes, all 6 of them, glowed a deep violet. It floated several inches above the ground at all times, as if gravity was merely a suggestion it had chosen to ignore. "This," Professor Valoran said with unmistakable gravity, "is a velith." The classroom murmured. Even the most composed students leaned forward. "It is the most emotionally sensitive creature in the cataloged galaxy. It reads intent, fear, aggression, and deception instantaneously. It has never, in 4 centuries of academic attempts, been successfully approached by any student of this academy. Your task is simple." He paused. "Catch it. You have until sundown." He looked slowly around the room, amber eyes landing briefly on each student before stopping, almost reluctantly, on the one human in the back row. James Calloway was 22, unremarkable in appearance, and was currently eating a granola bar. The forest of Kelmora. The planet Kelmora was breathtakingly beautiful, and completely indifferent to that fact. Its forests were silver-trunked, with leaves that chimed softly in the wind like distant wind instruments. The ground was covered in luminescent moss that pulsed faintly underfoot. 23 students spread out across the forest with their equipment, energy nets, resonance cages, scent masking suits, and neural dampeners designed to suppress emotional signatures. The Varadi twins moved in perfect coordinated silence. A Palmorian student deployed a sophisticated 3-axis tracking drone. Even the usually laid-back Shineke from Marcus's class had shown up in full tactical gear. James had a jacket, a bottle of water, and the second half of his granola bar. He wandered away from the group quietly, hands in his pockets, crunching softly through the luminescent moss without any particular urgency. The
I
clearing.
have something for you.
He found the Vela
What is
in a
it?
small clearing
small
20
token of
minutes
friendship.
later. It was perched on a low silver branch, all 6 violet eyes watching him with the focused intensity of something that had already decided whether or not to trust him. Its oil slick fur rippled slowly through blues and greens. Its 3 tails curled and uncurled like slow breathing. James stopped at the edge of the clearing. He didn't reach for anything. He didn't assume a stance. He sat down cross-legged on the mossy ground, broke off a small piece of his granola bar, and placed it on the moss in front of him, not toward the creature, just near himself, as if he were simply having a snack. Then he looked away. Not out of strategy. He simply noticed the silver trees were genuinely beautiful, and thought they deserved a proper look. The forest chimed softly around them. 3 minutes passed. He felt something land in his lap. The return. Professor Valoran heard the commotion before he saw it, a ripple of disbelief moving through his students as they emerged from the tree line back toward the meeting point. He turned slowly, expecting failure, already composing his traditional end-of-assignment lecture on humility. James Calloway walked out of the forest with the Vela sitting on his shoulder. It was grooming his hair with one of its tails. Its fur had settled into a warm, steady gold. A color, Valoran realized with a jolt, that he had never seen a Vela display. In 4 centuries of research, that color had never been documented. The other students stood in absolute silence. Professor Valoran stared for a long moment. Then he did something that shocked his students far more than the creature ever could. He took out his research journal and began writing furiously. The only question that mattered. Afterward, when the other students had drifted away, still shaking their heads, Valoran approached James alone. "How?" he said simply. James thought about it honestly. "I wasn't trying to catch it," he said. "I just figured, if something can read exactly what you're feeling, the only thing that works is actually feeling the right thing." He shrugged. "So I just stopped wanting anything from it." Valoran looked at him for a long moment with all 4 amber eyes. "In 312 years," the professor said quietly, "you are the first student who has ever taught me something." The velith on James's shoulder made a sound like a soft bell, and its golden fur glowed just a little brighter.